everybody, I'm Stacy. Let's talk slavery. Who wants to talk about slavery? Better yet, who wants to read about slavery? I know I don't. Who wants to watch slavery on TV? Nobody. But it is a large part of our history. So historical fiction, it is one of the genres that I really love. And I know a lot of parts of the American history, it just was not fun for a lot of people, especially people that look like me. So get comfortable. We're going to rate these books and talk about historical fiction novels that are on the topic of slavery. He's never going to have his cycle. He's never going to experience. And I like this book. I really love that book, but I'm interested to see. I don't say they drugged for the family, but they were very fancy. But I will read this book, give it a chance and see. Kindle, I downloaded Verity. So I have the first 3 books of those, which I do plan to read soon. I'm going to go over 5 books that I read this year, 2025, in historical fiction, that genre, and rank them and rate them and tell y'all my final thoughts on these books. So, starting with let's go from lowest to highest. Yeah, from lowest to highest. My least favorite book of the 5 that I read was The Book of the Night Women. And I'm going to start with this because the rating on Goodreads for Book of the Night Women was an average of 4.37. And yet the rating on Storygraph was 4.39. I rated this book personally a 1. And the most, I rated this book a 1. Someone recommended it to me, but I didn't take it as if I was open-minded when I started, but the language in this, what wasn't my cup of tea was the verbiage, like the cursing, the N word, the B word, F, like that in that time of this book, I just feel like it didn't match. Like it was kind of like aggressive and like very harsh. And that was just my view on that. So I rated this book very low, like a 1. The characters didn't really stick with me. The women, they were bullying this one girl. So it was even though it was Jamaican or dark skinned women, they had colorism in it, and it just was very triggering for me. This book, it didn't really remind me of anything. And I wish I could ask the author, where did all of this aggression come from towards women? And also, he was writing it as a coming of age story for a woman. So that is just my take. I rated that the lowest of the 5 books that I read on slavery. Number 2 is going to be Let Us Descend. Let Us Descend by Jasmine Ward. This is number 2. It's going to get number 2 because all right, I did these reviews in depth, and you'll see why I rated this as a number 2 in this list of 5 books that I'm reading. But Let Us Descend was rated a 3.69 on Goodreads average and a 3.85 on Storygraph. My personal rating on this one was a 2. And this book, it was surprising because it had so much potential. Like, this book had so much potential. The quotes were great. Like, the first opening sentence, I was like, whoa, that is nice. But it started getting too poetic for me. And the characters were okay. They were just like middle of the road. Nobody stood out besides Annis, I think that was her name, and her mom. And she was in search of her mom the whole book. So to me, it was all right. The ending, I didn't even care at all about the ending. It was all right. So I gave it a 2. It reminded me of that book, Junie, that I just read. Junie. And I'm going to lead right into that next book. The book Junie. Junie was rated on Goodreads as a 4.9 star book. Goodreads, and on Storygraph it was a 4.32. For me, I rated it a 3.75. That was the average in that book for me. I like Junie, and I like how the author, she is new and up and coming, and she just snuck in a slave book in this current time, and it read like a young adult romantic. I'll say romanticy, because they had some type of like airy in this too, where they were talking to the ancestors and the spirits and stuff like that. So my favorite character in this book definitely was Junie. I liked how she, in her mind, I don't think Junie knew that she was like a real hardcore slave. Like, she had a soft slave life to me. I wish I could ask the author. Well, no, I know she wrote about it. She said she wrote in the acknowledgement where she got the story from, and it was like from like family, like her family passed it down or so. So it was pretty good. I rated it a 3. Goodreads, I told you they rated it a 4.9. Storygraph rated it a 4.32. Pretty good. I recommend Junie. Coming in at number 2, it would be The Yellow Wife. The Yellow Wife was great. I gave this book, let's see, no. So I'm doing, Goodreads gave this book a 4.43. And Storygraph gave this book a 4.42. I gave this book a 5. Like, I gave it a 5, even though it's number 4 in my ranking. It was just a good story. Like, she got to it. Everything was close ended. It was very nice how she went back to Virginia, and you saw the place where they actually is a real place. And it was really nice. I would recommend that. The characters all stood out. They had personalities, from the guys to the girls, the slave owners, the white man. She used some language in that book too, but it wasn't too harsh. I gave this book a 5, and all the books I give a 5 that's really good, I gift them to my uncle who likes to read. So he read the book, and it was hard for him to read. So I'll say it's like a 4 for him, because he just was like, he was struggling with the whatever that was going on in that book. But he finished it, and then he gave it a 5. So it was a hard read on slavery, but I would recommend, if you haven't already read The Yellow Wife, and you can actually see, like, put her life experiences through that character on modern time, and just get like a clear visual, like, dang, that was wild and crazy. And I'm not a crier. I didn't cry on any of these books, but this one was very touching. It was good. The Yellow Wife, that was number 4. Last but not least, the book that I'm rating, let's say the best book that I read this year that was historical fiction based on slavery, was the book James. It was rated on Goodreads as a 4.46. On Storygraph, it was a 4.51. I gave James a 5. James was just like that good, like, it was just so satisfying, because after years of that Huckleberry Finn story, and we like hated it in high school, and we like, what the hell? It just like came full circle, and you got the other perspective from James. And I really would recommend that book to anybody who's into historical fiction. Even if you hated Huckleberry Finn, I think that you would actually like this adventure. It was very adventurous. I like how the wording was. It started off kind of strange, because you're like, why is he talking like this? Like, why is he talking like that? But he goes through like all different levels in his life in a short period of time, very quick. And it's just a full circle on Huckleberry Finn. So that book to me was like top notch. That was like a really good book, like James. So if you haven't read James, I recommend everybody go get James, read James, and tell me what you thought about James. James as number 1. Number 2, The Yellow Wife. Number 3, Junie. 4, Letters to Scent. And number 5, The Book of the Night Women. So that is my ranking. Go read James.